Welcome back to Bulgaria and welcome back to Bdin Vidin in our Football Manager 24 Build a Nation save. At the end of last season we completed phase 4 and qualified for Europe, and we now move into phase 5, which is to try and win the title. Hello guys and welcome back to the series. Welcome back to our Football Manager 24 save, where we're trying to build the nation of Bulgaria to be the best in Europe. We are the manager at Bdin Vidin. We have reached the end of the preliminary phase in Season 7, so we're going to have a quick catch-up of what's gone on in the league since you were last with us. Also how we got on in Europe, which I think you'll be quite surprised by. So let's get into it. So first of all, we'll start off with what happened in the league since you were last with us. Of course, there's been 9 games so far. Today's live comp is that final game of the preliminary phase against PRO M.2 but we started off with a nice comfortable 5-3 win over Cherno Varna. And I say comfortable, it was comfortable when we were 5-0 up, and then we conceded 3 goals in the final 20 minutes of the game, which was highly disappointing. But Giles, Cyprien, Bernardo and Dongo with the double, and Berthelsen with his first goal for the club. Unfortunately, he has picked up an injury, has Mads Berthelsen, so that's obviously hindering his development. But Ndongo picked up the man of the match. It was great to be 5-0 up, 3-0 up at half time. It's just really disappointing that we've allowed them back in with 3 goals. And what was more disappointing was the next game, and that was dropped points to Levski Sofia. We took the lead through Marco Bertini in the 30th minute. We conceded an 89th minute equaliser though away to Levski Sofia. They probably earned the point with the amount of chances that created. We've again dominated the ball though. It's just pretty much the story of how our season goes. Their goalkeeper's had a great rating. He's despite only facing 5 shots compared to Gunnarsson's had a decent rating as well. It's just really disappointing to concede that late goal. Back to winning ways next time out though, and new signing Matias Rodriguez, who's coming on a free transfer. In fact, we'll have a quick look at him while we're here. Argentinian, 21 years old. He's got a little bit of potential left to grow into, which hopefully he does. I kind of brought him in because the squad complained about lack of depth on left midfield. Unfortunately, Rodriguez didn't fix that complaint that the squad had, but he's definitely a player who can be a squad player for us. He's in as a breakthrough prospect. If he can improve, he can get game time. If not, we'll look to move him on. But in terms of the game itself, a 2-1 win over Lokomotiv Sofia. It was Rodriguez and Kuzmanov with the goals. That was after going behind in the 16th minute. Again, dominated the ball, had the better of the opportunities, 9 shots on target, and a good win. Unfortunately, we dropped points again though in this game. Again, away to Spartak Varna. It was Maya, Cyprien and Dinkov with the goals for Bdin. Florent Henry with the double, quickfire double in the space of a minute for Spartak Varna. And they were 2-1 up at that point before Cyprien levelled it for half time. We then scored what I thought was a late winner, but no, we couldn't hold on. And Botev got the goal in the 89th minute for Varna. Again, we've given up a lot of shots. Despite them not having much of the ball. I said it last episode, it's definitely something that's wrong with this tactic, is the amount of shots that we do give up. And I think I've said as well that it's the 2 defensive wingers. I think they should actually be wing backs as opposed to wingers. So I can't remember whose interpretation of the tactic this was. It's what, you know, I test them. I find other people's on the internet. I test them. And I think they've actually got it wrong, which I will go over in the tactic video at the end of the season. But 3-3 in this one. Bounce back against Lokomotiv Plovdiv in the next one. We were 1-0 down at half time, and I thought we were playing quite poorly again. But James Ali Marungo and Kliris Simikos with the goals for us. 18 shots, 70% of the ball. Played really well. Dinkov and Ndongo, not great. Gunnarsson, not great either. But it's 3 points on the board. Bit more like it in the next game, away to a Barrow, despite conceding early on again. But Anthony Maya with a double, Dinkov and Ndongo. You can see how much we're rotating the squad with what's happening in Europe. But a great win again. We've given up 14 shots though, which I sound like a broken record, but it's really disappointing to concede so many shots. Just luckily we can outscore the opposition, and we did that in the next one as well against CSK 1948. Now they were top of the table when we took them on. In this game, Elliot Anderson, again, we've conceded another early goal. Elliot Anderson this time, they've missed a penalty right on the stroke of half time, but Joseph Ndongo, Sirikos, Marungu and Dinkov with the goals from a Bdin point of view, much better defensively this time out. Only 4 shots against our goal, really good performance against the league leaders. And another great result followed against a team who have had a great first part of the season, shall we say, in Bdin Vidin. They have dropped off just a little bit now, which we'll see in just a moment. But Cyprian and Ndongo, with the double, secured the 3-2 win for us. Unfortunately, most recently, we've gone to Bdin Vidin, who are cut adrift at the bottom of the table, shall we say. They're miles off. And again, we'll see that in just a minute. But we lost. Rather disappointing that we lost. You can see how tired we are. But Majuga, Antonov and Mitkov with the goals for Bdin Vidin, Kuzmanov and Maro with the goals from a Bdin point of view. Really, really disappointing result. And when we look at the league table, you can see just how disappointing that result against Bdin Vidin is. They're on 7 points and 3 of those came against us. The only win of the season is against Bdin, and we do find ourselves top of the table, guys. 61 points with just 1 point ahead of Ludogorets, so now sort of closed the gap a bit. You can see that Bdin Vidin have dropped off just a little bit towards the latter part of the season, but we've got the top 3 teams within 2 points of each other, which is interesting. Levski Sofia are miles off this season. I don't know what's going on with Levski. They've lost 10 games so far this season. But coming into the final game of the preliminary phase, we currently find ourselves top of the table, which of course is fantastic. In terms of how things went in Europe for us, of course we know that we were drawn against RB Salzburg, and the first leg was at Georgi Benkovsky Stadium, of course in Vidin, and we got away with a 0-0 draw, which was very, very good. We weren't out of the game by any stretch of the means. We were more than comfortable in this game. Next, Triantis picks up the man of the match award, so we were very good defensively. Now, the second leg away in Austria was one hell of a game. Really, really was one hell of a game. We went 2-0 down quite quickly before Ndongo got one back right on the stroke of half-time to make it 2-1 at half-time. We then scored in the 80th minute from the penalty spot from Paulo Bernardo to make it 2-2 at full-time. The game then went into extra time, and Dijon Khmeri put Salzburg ahead again before Carlos Gallego popped up in the 116th minute for the equaliser to take us to a penalty shootout. You can see that it was a very even game again. In terms of the penalty shootout, though, we can see here, we'll just have a quick look. They scored 4 out of their first 5. We scored 4 out of our first 5. Garcia McNulty did miss into sudden death. It went. Obviously, they scored 1, we scored 1, but then their goalkeeper stepped up and it was saved by Gunnarsson before Syrikos scored the deciding penalty, and we went through to the round of 16 in Europe. We've won a knockout game in Europe, which is absolutely fantastic. So that brought us into the draw for the round of 16, which you can see here. We are getting underway. Excuse the stats in the top corner. Just monitoring how my computers work, and I forgot to turn them off, basically. But in terms of how the draw went, Bayer Leverkusen were drawn against Young Boys. I think I do skip ahead to the point where we are actually drawn out. In fact, we were drawn out second, so I skipped the end of it. But it's Bdin. We were drawn against Monaco, our parent club, which is absolutely fantastic. So a decent prospect of a game there. And in that round of 16 draw against Monaco, as you can see here, they came to Bulgaria and they picked up a 3-2 win. We were 3-0 down quite quickly, and it was highly disappointing. So I shouted at the boys at half-time, and they came out and they did me proud. And Ndongo got us back into it straight away. Hervé Andre on the 55th minute, and I thought we've got a chance here of getting something out of this game. You can see how poor we were by the match stats. Monaco absolutely batters us, and following Balogun with the hat-trick there. It was really poor, to be quite frank, and I was disappointed, especially how quickly we went 3-0 down. Into the second leg though, guys, and fantastic result. You can see Francois Celeria did get the goal for Monaco, of course a former loanee of ours, with Monaco being our parent club, but Nectar Triantis, Hervé Andre in the 94th minute for the on-aggregate equaliser, and then Carlos Gallego again in extra time, bagging the goal to give us a fantastic 5-4 aggregate win. So we were into the quarterfinals then, and in the hat for the draw, and there's some big teams here. Bayer Leverkusen were the first out of the hat, and it was at home against us. Of course, it was against us. Bayer Leverkusen, Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen. A very difficult tie for us, but we never expected to be this far. So moving into that Europa League quarter-final, and we went to Germany first, and it went as you'd expect, really. Bayer Leverkusen absolutely hammered us. Absolutely hammered us. We took the lead as well through Joseph and Dongo, but they just came. They were far too strong for us, basically. 3-1 at half-time, 6-1 at full-time. We were quite poor in terms of the way we played. Kuzmanov with a 5.8. I could have made the sub, but if you look at the bench, look how tired the bench are compared to, obviously, just how many games we've had. This game came in the middle of 3 games in 1 week. And just how things are. So really, really disappointing result. We did bring back Leverkusen to Bulgaria though, and we've actually managed to pick up a 1-0 win in this one. Weverton with the goal. We played much better. Just a shame that first leg performance was so poor, and we conceded the 6 goals. But 6-2 defeat on aggregate to Bayer Leverkusen in the Europa League quarter-final for a club as small as Bdin is nothing to be sniffed at, and I'm really, really proud of how the boys have done in Europe this season. But of course, guys, we're here to take on Pirin Blagoevgrad in the final game of the preliminary phase. We are at home, should I say. You may notice on the right hand side there that Patrick Sigurd Gunnarsson is currently wanted. He's wanted. We've had a bid in basically from Atalanta United. They made an inquiry. They suggested 3 million. I put it up to 7.5, which they accepted. So I accepted the bid. It would take 7.5 million pounds for Patrick. He rejected it though. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if they come back in. I might get more money for him. It would be a decent return on the investment for Gunnarsson. He's not been on a lot of money while he's been here. We got him for free as well. He's been a fantastic servant. We're hoping that Luis Felipe can fill the gap and develop into the goalkeeper that we want him to be. But yeah, so this could be the last season that we see Gunnarsson. Well, we'll see. We'll see. He's going to make the starting goal today. In defence, though, it's going to be Andre Triantis and McNulty. You can see that all 3 of them have had a really good season for us in defence, despite the fact that we can see so many goals and shots. But that's because, like I say, I do think that these guys should be, back here, as opposed to where they actually are on the pitch. I think that whoever made this tactic has got it wrong. So the wingers are going to be Weverton and Marcos, Suprian and Ali Marungu as the 2 defensive midfielders. Then we've then got Maro, Sirikos and Kuzmanov up top. Kuzmanov is another one who he's not got long left on his contract. We may look to move him on, but he can play as a striker. Of course, like I alluded to earlier, we do have the injuries to Bethelsen, who has made his way onto the bench, although he's still not quite fit. So we'll swap him out for Matthias Rodriguez. And Dongo's in desperate need of a rest. As are a lot of the players. We've played a lot of football this season. But that's the lineup for today, guys, so let's go and get into the game. So we're underway then. Final game of the preliminary phase this season. And hopefully this is the season where we knock Ludogorets off their perch. They've had a little bit of a surge towards the end of the season. They've moved themselves up the table. They have just taken the lead, though, in their game. They're 2-0 up against Botev Varaka. But here's our first highlight. It's Andre with the throw-in. Needs an option. Finds Sirikos to Ali Marungu. Plays it into Suprian. Sirikos again gets it back. Goes for goal. It's blocked. Weverton onto the left. Feeds Marcus. Marcus hits the inside the post. Sirikos with the tap-in. Are we going to get a VAR check? No, we're not. We're not going to get a VAR check. So Sirikos gets us up and running in the 17th minute. He's lacked goals this season, has Sirikos. I'm not sure the position he's playing him out wide on the right of those front 3 is really suiting him. Of course, we saw him play much better as an attacking midfielder on the right. That's really unfortunate from the goalkeeper's point of view, though, but a nice, easy finish for Sirikos. But Pirin looking to get back into it straight away. Gunnarsson's forced to make a good save from that free kick from the Pirin player, and they get a corner out of it. See, the stands are still quite empty despite how well we're doing, guys. That's obviously something that has grown over the seasons that we've been here, but it could do with growing just a little bit more. There's now 3,500 people come to the games, which is not bad considering where we started 7 seasons ago, really. Marcos with this free kick towards Garcia McNulty. It's a poor header when he was all by himself. Should be looking to hit the target as Ludogorets are punishing Botev Varaka there. They're 4-0 up already, and this will be helping their goal difference out massively. That's a poor header from Triantis. Thankfully, it doesn't come to anything. Triantis needs to be a little bit more careful with that kind of header. Hopefully, he can be better with this one. Marcos with the corner. Can he find any of those big people in the middle? He finds Andre. It's not the best of headers, though, from an Andre point of view. And again, it's gone over the bar. Struggling to break Pirin down here and hit the target as consistency as I would like, especially when Ludogorets are 4-0 up. But into half-time, guys, at 1-0, we are the better team. Of course we are. Be nice to get another goal, though. Innocenti with the free kick for Pirin Blagrad. Finds Andrea, but Weverton comes back, reads it. Andre into Ali Marungu. Supriyan, back to Andre again. Into Ali Marungu, out wide to the right hand side, and Weverton advancing into the Pirin half now, feeds it inside to Supriyan. Supriyan's pass is blocked, but he gets it back, drives towards the penalty area. He's forced a bit wide though, needs some support, gets the ball across towards Sirikos, punched by the goalkeeper, and Pirin managed to clear it downfield only as far as Garcia McNulty, who picks it up, looking for an option, brings it over halfway, finds Ali Marungu, back to Triantis into Ali Marungu again, out wide to the right hand side, and Weverton, a little bit of space to move into for the Brazilian. Comes back to Ali Marungu, it's deflected and in, and we do make it 2-0 now, which is exactly what we needed, because Ludogorets are 6-0 up against Botev. And we're straight into another highlight, guys. We're looking to extend our lead just moments after we made it 2. Ali Marungu with the ball over the top towards Maro, headed clear, but Marcos with the follow-up in towards Sirikos at the back post. The Greek can't quite keep his head down. Ludogorets are now 8-0. Against Botev. Marcos with the corner towards that near post. He just sort of hits Andre. They weren't really paying attention. But Nikolov with the chance to break for Pirin. I think he's pulled back there, but Garcia McNulty does come away with the ball. It's Andre to Triantis. Triantis to Andre again. Triantis needs some forward momentum here, guys. Garcia McNulty into Supriyan. Supriyan forced back to Garcia McNulty again. He's got Marcos on the left-hand side. Marcos into Kuzmanov with the finish. Lian Kuzmanov gets his 5th of the season to make it 3-0 to Bdin. Straight into the next highlight from the kickoff. Hopefully it's going to be another Bdin goal. We're trying to keep up with Ludogorets in terms of the goal difference here. Shamov finds Lloyd. Lloyd forced back to Innocenti to Mladenov on the left-hand side. Sirikos pinches that though. Sirikos has got Kuzmanov with him. Gives it back to Sirikos. Sirikos for 4. He finds the back of the net. The 17th goal of the season for Klimis Sirikos. I said he'd not scored that many goals this season. I didn't realise it was as high as 17, so not too bad. Looking to make it 5 now. Marcus from the corner, headed clear by Innocenti, only as far as Ali Marungu. Gives it to Andre. Comes back to Weverton. There's the opportunity there still to get the ball into the box. Weverton with the ball. Goes wide right. Takes it past 2. Can he pull it back for a teammate? Can he find Sirikos? Sirikos again on the score sheet. 68 minutes gone. It's Bdin 5, Pirin Blagrad 0. Pirin wants something out this game though, and they're looking to get it from this free kick. And unfortunately, we've dealt with it. And there's a chance to break here. It's Marcos. Needs some support though, because he's just running down a green alleyway here. Still going with the ball towards the byline though. There's players in blue in the box now. Can he find one? He finds Sirikos, who's put his header just wide. What a counter-attack that would have been. Great play from Marcos all the way down the left-hand side of the pitch. And we've put in a fantastic performance here as Ludogorets are now 10-0 up against Botev Varaka. Really showing us how it should have been done in that last game, really. I don't know how we've lost to Botev Varaka. Not a clue, but we did. And, you know, Ludogorets are now 11-0 up against Botev Varaka. That's probably going to be a new record win in the league. As we're in full time, it's a nice win for us, 5-0. We've played very well defensively. We've still conceded 11 shots on goal, 6 on target, but Gunnarsson's picked up a 7.7. Of course, Sirikos with the man of the match with the hat-trick. So this is how we finish that preliminary phase of the league. We finish 1 point ahead of Ludogorets Razgrad after they've just thumped Botev 11-0, though they're now 6 goals better off than us, which is the 6 more that they scored than we did in that game. So hopefully, again, if the league roles don't sort themselves properly like they didn't last season, goal difference could come into it. So we kind of need to improve ours just a little bit. But obviously the games in the Championship group are going to be massive. And this is how the Championship group looks going into the final 5 games of the season. It's going to be Bdin Ludogorets, CSK 1948, Botev Plovdiv, Septembri Sofia make it into the Championship group, which is odd to see. And Levski Sofia, miles behind everybody. Scrape in there, just about. So, final 5 games of the season, guys, coming up. Can we finally become the champions of Bulgaria and put an end to Ludogorets' 5 on the bounce? Let's hopefully not let them make it 6. That's it for today, though, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, we'll be back at the end of the season where we'll take on the final game. and hopefully we're the champions. We'll have a look, run through the coefficients, how the other Bulgarian teams did in Europe as well, and then we'll move into Season 8. But thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.